Guys, remember about, let's just say 10 months ago when Alec Baldwin killed somebody on a movie set and no criminal charges had been filed? Well, I guess they were just waiting for the FBI, literally that FBI, to figure out and run a report for whatever reason. I don't know why the FBI is being involved in this one, but it looks like, maybe them being able to decipher simple things that I knew, like how DNI Ratcliffe, the former head of all of the national intelligence agencies, he just points out Trump has the ultimate declassification authority. Maybe all of those good agents who were working on drafting this report weren't a part of the raid of Mar-a-Lago, which Alec Baldwin, man, I bet you he was really hoping they would be a part of that. But hey, you can't charge him with anything. He's got a new kid on the way, right? Yeah, big old distraction baby. But anyways, police in Santa Fe will not rule out criminal charges after damning FBI report concludes that Alec Baldwin did pull the trigger on the set of Rust and killed cinematographer despite claiming he did not. So here's another thing that the FBI has on their hands, okay? Alec Baldwin has stated multiple times in a whole bunch of different interviews, both with the police, in public, on national television for whatever goddamn reason. Okay, he's out there saying, I don't know, the gun just went off. Wouldn't you think somebody who's been in the business for as long as Alec Baldwin has could come up with something a little bit better for a lie? But no, he's claimed over and over and over again the bad revolver just magically went off. Okay. And the only thing that's come out of this, from at least a legal perspective, is a $100,000 payoff to somebody. Like, he hasn't faced any charges, and it's 10 months, just about to the day at this point. Okay, I don't know when this is going to be released. No, it's going to be released today. So, yeah, just about a week and change short. And we still haven't gotten to the bottom of this. He pointed a gun at somebody and pulled the goddamn trigger. Okay, it seems pretty simple, but again, this is the FBI we're dealing with, and a sympathetic figure in Alec Baldwin. So let's see. Okay, a damning report from the FBI, and also I want to know, okay, because the FBI deals with federal charges, hence the Federal Bureau of Investigations, which should be abolished, anyways. But another topic for another time. But they would just have to deal with interstate commerce. Okay, so anything that involves crossing state lines, that's a Mann Act, anything like that. Then the feds would come in. So I guess maybe because Baldwin doesn't live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, I don't really get it. I don't know if they're going to be detailing why they're involved in this, but whatever. But yes, the damning report from the FBI had concluded that Alec Baldwin did pull the trigger of the gun that killed cinematographer on the set of Rust. So doesn't that mean you guys kind of like have a murder on your hands? So where are the charges? Anyways, the actor, 64, accidentally shot dead Halyna Hutchins, 42, on the set of the film Rust in October 21st, and injured director Joel Souza in the incident in Bonanza Creek Ranch, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Baldwin had consistently denied that he pulled the trigger of the gun, which was supposed to be loaded with dummy bullets, but a new report, seen by ABC News, the same outlet, I'm pretty sure it was ABC who gave him that primetime special where it was all just in the shadows, and I don't want to make this about me, but it was the worst day of my life. No, I'm pretty sure it was probably the worst day of Halyna Hutchins and her extended family, who got the short end of the stick and have been waiting for justice in some form or fashion ever since. But no, please, Alec, tell this how it's all about you. Anyways, it means that he can still face criminal charges like murder. Anyways, with Santa Fe Sheriff's Department confirming with the case that will be passed to the district attorney. Oh, great. So we shall wait on this one. Authorities said yesterday that they are waiting for the actor's phone records. How's that going to prove anything else? He pulled the fucking trigger at the end of the day. He should be held somewhat liable. Reckless discharge of a firearm resulting in injuries, something along those lines, at least, or third-degree murder at worst. I don't know if they have third-degree murder in New Mexico, though. Second-degree murder, okay? Something like that. Authorities in Suffolk County, police in New York, and Baldwin's attorney are working over handing the phone records. Okay, that makes sense. The records will be reviewed by detectives, and a case file will be sent to the DA to determine if any charges will be filed. An FBI forensic report was examining all the areas of the fatal accident as part of the broader investigation to see if any criminal charges can be brought. So they were requested maybe by the Sheriff's Department in New Mexico. That would make a little more sense, I guess. Part of the report found that the revolver, a single actual Colt 45 caliber Colt F. Italy Pieta, the fucking 45 Colt, okay? Could have been fired without someone pulling the trigger. Oh, I'm sorry, could not have been fired without somebody pulling the trigger. Yeah, exactly. Says everybody who has been abreast of this situation since it's happened 10 months ago. They made the decision by conducting an accidental discharge test, which was unclear as it was the exact same. Oh, if it was the exact same gun or an identical copy, according to ABC News. I would imagine they would have the evidence in their possession if they're doing a forensic analysis of everything pertinent to the case. Just saying, and especially if they came to that conclusion. But it's the feds we're dealing with after all, and we've already seen all that stuff. It states that the gun, when working properly, will not release a bullet and primer at the same time just by somebody fiddling with the hammer. Yeah, no, so even if you slam it down, even if you're just goofing around with it, not something that you would normally be doing when you're trying to load it and cock the trigger, and cock the hammer for, a specific shot. Not something that you're normally doing, obviously, and even if that was the case, wasn't going to work out that way. In the interview, he said that he pulled back the hammer and posed with it for the camera while Halyna coached him on the positioning. I'm sure all of that is true, 100% true. Just left out that little detail of a little finger contraction. Just saying, just missing that part. The interview with investigators, Baldwin told him he was holding a cold gun, meaning that it was loaded with dummy rounds, and that was a lie. And I don't know why charges against the armorer haven't been brought as well, because it was her responsibility, and also who else? The assistant producer, one of the producers, was supposed to be double checking it as well. And yeah, their reckless handling of a firearm. Yeah, where are those charges? Anyways, however, the FBI report found that the action could set of a gunshot sound without discharging a bullet. Okay. The report could still lead to criminal charges against the actor and others involved with the accidental shooting. Okay, that would make more sense. Maybe. Okay, best faith interpretation of this. They called in the feds, do this forensic audit, and then after that, then we'll figure out who gets charged with what. So we might be in for a fall of trials for very high-profile people. I think that would be justified, all things considered. And the fact that Alec's been very, very vociferous in his lies so far, it's a lot of moving parts. Those FBI reports were immediately forwarded to the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator, OMI, who then passed them to the Sheriff's Office on Wednesday. Oh, so these have been making the rounds for a hot second. Interesting. Speaking earlier this year, Santa Fe County Sheriff Adnan Mendoza told the Today Show the criminal charges could not be ruled out. He said it's too early to rule on anything right now. I don't think anybody's off the hook when it comes to criminal charges. I've said this before. I think there is complacency on the set, and that was disorganization and the degree of negligence. Whether that rises to a criminal level, that will be up to the district attorney. Well, now you got the report, so do as you wish. Baldwin's attorney at Pillsbury, Winthrop, Shaw, Pittman, LLP, Legal Law Practices, did not immediately respond for comment. Yes, because they're currently pulling out what's left of their hair, dealing with all of these new charges. Well, all of these, let's be honest, expected charges, figuring how the fuck are we going to deal with this shit? When he was interviewed, the actor told the sheriff that on the day of the shooting, a box of dummy bullets had gone missing suddenly and then reappeared. Oh, I'm sure, exactly. Charge this armor as well, this fucking disgusting thing. After the accident involving Hutchinson, the crew went back to the box and discovered live rounds had been mixed with the dummy rounds, he said. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get rid of all of those shells in those boxes and figure out who brought live rounds onto the set, and then move forward with things that we can actually verify are in fact dummy rounds. But I thought it was, hey man, I thought this was a prop gun to begin with. Oh, more lies. Anyways, Halyna Gutierrez-Reed, the 24-year-old, has repeatedly issued statements protesting her innocence. She said she was overworked on the set. Again, accountability. Your job to look after the firearms to make sure that a shooting doesn't occur. And what happened? A shooting occurred. But what happens? I was overworked on the set. You're on a fucking Western. Everybody's going to have some sort of a gun on them, for Christ's sakes. Police also released several videos of Baldwin being interviewed about the incident. Yeah, those have all been funny, and people with a better eye for those types of investigations, lawyers and former officers have gone over those videos as well. I didn't find any use or necessity in adding my 2 cents to them. I just thought that they were kind of funny. But at least I got a little recap here. He had just finished telling cops, Baldwin, by the way, he didn't pull the trigger, and was therefore stunned when he saw what looked like a live round fire from his weapon and pierced through Director Joel Souza's shoulder before striking Hutchins in the armpit. Again, now we know that's a lie, so you could also get him on perjury charges as well. Maybe that'll be a federal charge. That'd be fun. I doubt it, though. Baldwin also repeatedly badgered Santa Fe detectives to grill the rest of the crew about the incident and complained about losing out on work and having to tell his kids about how he accidentally killed Hutchins. Oh, why don't you hold everybody else accountable? I was just the guy who pulled the trigger. Didn't pull the trigger. Didn't, definitely. I was just playing with the hammer and then pulled the trigger. Damn it, not again. Like, fuck off. Come on now. Everybody knows you're lying at this point, and now it's been confirmed. Sucks to suck, I guess. But yes, no, it's all about me. Oh, look at how upset he is. And an interrogation room. Yeah, like they got little snippets here. Baldwin remains in the same position for 24 seconds before he puts his hand on his chest and then covers his face with his hands. Maybe realizing that, oh fuck, now I'm officially a murderer. They didn't know about the other bodies that are in the closet. In the week after the accident, Baldwin phoned Detective Alexandra Hancock and asked what that neck do. To ask if the sheriff had interviewed the film's armorer about the bullets. And to ask when a press conference was being held. Yes, because I want to be able to look my best and make sure that I can announce my wife's pregnancy. He was frantic, begging the detective to indulge him by asking about a box of bullets. He felt like Murch could explain how a live round ended up in his gun. Yeah, no, that's all fine. You can also charge those other people that weren't doing their job as well. But at the end of the day, you are the trigger guy, so charges will be filed. Hopefully. Baldwin said he's been fired from the rest of the projects of this year as a result of the accident. Yeah, you killed somebody. Don't expect any more work, my guy. I have some unfortunate news. She didn't make it, the investigators told him. He shot back in his seat saying, "No!" and then gave the Glengarry Glen Ross speech. That would have been sweet. Before asking if he can be excused to phone his wife, Hilaria. Baldwin left the room with his head in his hands, but were there any tears? Anyways, seconds later, he was photographed in the parking lot with the sheriff's office wailing as he spoke to Hilaria. Yeah, that's the picture that we've seen there. He was crying. He wasn't being told a hilarious joke. Get it? Anyways, the sheriff's office also released dozens of text messages and emails to and from David Halls, the assistant director of the movie. Those messages show how his friends and confidants warned him that Baldwin's PR machine was in overdrive, trying to blame him for the tragedy. Well, again, it seems pretty obvious if we're keeping it a stack. One message written to Halls by a friend named Julie Burris said that it looks as though everyone is going for their 15 minutes of fame, and ABPR team is in overdrive, trying to shift the blame away from himself on a worker bee who doesn't have the money or the power to refute any of it. Yeah, no, that makes sense as well, because that's something that Alec Baldwin has been 1000% behind. Oh, I don't know how that live round got into the gun, and I didn't pull the trigger. He's trying to skate on responsibility because he is, in his mind still, an A-list actor. His name is known, okay, he's the most famous of the Baldwin brothers. There's several of them, can't really name all of them, but at the end of the day, he's the trigger guy. Now the FBI's proven it. So we'll see if the FBI stand behind their word on this issue, okay? Because we know they can't get a bunch of stuff right, even though they'll try and make it stick. But we'll see if this leads to anything. We should see some movement this week, and at worst, by the end of the month. So I'll be keeping an eye on it. You guys probably will as well. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.